A draft deal is underway for the transfer of thousands of migrants from European Union countries to Turkey. U.S. President Barack Obama makes a historic visit to Cuba Sunday in a move to normalize relations. And in our Music Maker segment, a taste of Haitian music with the group La Musique. Africa 54 starts right now.
Good evening and welcome. I'm Vincent Makori. This is Africa 54. Tonight we begin with breaking news out of Belgium on a migration deal between the European Union and Turkey. EU leaders have been meeting throughout Friday with the Turkish Prime Minister in Brussels to put the final touches on a migration agreement intended to halt the flow of illegal migrants to Europe. Now, for more details on the agreement, let's go to Brussels, where reporter Tessa Akila is standing by live via Skype. Now, Tessa, give us the key points in the framework of today's deal.
Well, first of all, indeed, a deal has been reached between the EU and Turkey, agreeing to return migrants back to Turkey. Now, the deal that the EU presented to the Turkish Prime Minister has been accepted after several rounds, and essentially the additional financial aid as well as the political concessions that Turkey had wanted, albeit a watered-down version, will be getting the go-ahead. So what does that mean for migrants and refugees themselves? And what we've heard from EU leaders is that all those illegal or irregular migrants arriving after Sunday will be sent back to Turkey once they are registered and their asylum claims have been processed. Now, today is Friday. That's only 2 days from now, a very tight timeline, and it might have been decided as such in order to avoid a sudden surge in the numbers of people trying to cross before this deadline. But even so, it seems that the flow of people have continued in the rate that it was going, or even worse. Now, from what we understand is that from every person sent back to Turkey, the EU will also be taking in a Syrian currently in Turkey and resettle them within the EU. Now, it has to be said, though, that this process has been really quite slow, as even before the summit, the EU already said they would resettle 120,000 people. Today, less than 1,000 have been resettled. And I think also Turkey will be getting more money. Some 6.7 billion will be given in two tranches, and they want the access to this money to be made easier. And crucially, I think that has been contentious for EU members is the easing of visa restrictions for 75 million Turkish citizens. And this could happen as early as June, as long as Turkey meets the requirements. It's a long list of requirements, but it has been ease for them.
Yeah. Now, talk about Turkey. We know that at the start of these talks, the Turkish Prime Minister said that he wanted this to be given a humanitarian perspective, this crisis. Does this deal give it that humanitarian perspective?
Well, the fact that everybody is trying, despite their differences, to come up with a deal that essentially will be a compromise between the two sides is proof, or indeed acknowledgement of the dire humanitarian crisis currently happening at the borders of the EU right now at this moment. But the problem really is, okay, we have a deal today, but what does that mean for people on the ground? How will this be implemented in 2 days? That is really the question. Logistics. What does carrying boatloads of people back from the EU to Turkey going to mean? Who is going to shoulder the additional cost of doing so? And in the meantime, there are women, children, and people at the border still coming in through Greece by boats, and this really is a big humanitarian crisis that this deal is trying to address, but we have to see if that actually does happen.
Indeed, we'll have to see how it really plays out in the coming days. Tessa, thank you very much for that report from Brussels. Tessa Akila reporting live via Skype from Brussels. Now, in yet another setback, 2 people have tested positive for Ebola in Guinea just hours after the World Health Organization declared neighboring Sierra Leone's latest outbreak over. Now, a government official says 4 people were tested and 2 of them were found to have Ebola. They were all from the same village where 3 people from the same family have died in the past few weeks. The world's worst recorded Ebola epidemic is believed to have started in Guinea and killed about 2,500 people by December last year. It is not immediately clear how the villagers contracted the disease. Now, the Saudi-led coalition fighting in Yemen may be responsible for international crimes, a category that includes war crimes and crimes against humanity. That's according to a top UN human rights official. Zaid Rad Al Hussein, the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, condemned an airstrike in Yemen this week and added that the coalition was responsible for twice as many civilian casualties as all other forces combined. More than 6,000 people have been killed since the coalition campaign began a year ago to fight Iranian-allied Houthis and forces loyal to ex-President Ali Abdullah Saleh and to restore ousted President Abdi Rabu Mansur Hadi. U.S. President Barack Obama is set to travel to Cuba on Sunday for a historic visit as the two nations move to normalize relations 55 years after they broke off ties. Mr. Obama will be the first U.S. president to visit Cuba in nearly 90 years. He will directly address the Cuban people about his vision for the future. Here's VOA White House correspondent Mary Alice Salinas.
In Old Havana, a new beginning. That's what the White House says President Obama's visit here will represent. The Cold War enemies formally restored diplomatic ties 8 months ago.
Diplomacy, including having the courage to turn a page on the failed policies of the past, is how we've begun a new chapter of engagement with the people of Cuba.
The U.S. has loosened travel and commerce restrictions, and Obama hopes to find more ways to engage Cuba and its people. The 3-day trip will include a visit by the first family to cultural sites, like this cathedral. Obama will meet with President Raul Castro on areas of mutual interest and disagreement, like human rights. Analysts say the Cuban government will have to make changes.
What I think they understand is that the Cuban people need to be in the driver's seat for this thing to work. And the Cuban people are participating more freely in their economy, and that's going to continue to emerge, and they need to participate more freely in their politics as well.
Despite complaints by Havana, Obama will meet with Cuban dissidents. In a pinnacle moment, he will directly address the Cuban people, recalling a painful past and outlining a promising future. But the Republican-led Congress, which can lift the 55-year embargo on Cuba, is not convinced. To push his U.S.-Cuba policy beyond his final year in office, Obama needs bipartisan support. That's one reason why he is taking a delegation of both Democratic and Republican lawmakers.
He has to show that it brings results, that it brings results in the commercial field, that it brings results in the diplomatic field, so that the next president, whoever he or she may be, will look at what Obama has done with Cuba and say, this works.
The White House says Obama's historic trip aims to make the normalization process between the two countries irreversible. Mary Alice Salinas, VOA News, the White House.
Well, in our business report, the U.S. Federal Reserve has decided not to raise interest rates as traders look for clues into what's next in the market. Africa 54 business correspondent Jill Malandrino, New York, is joined by Stephen Kalijian of the Kalijian Report for his take on global growth.
The Federal Reserve leaves interest rates unchanged as expected. However, instead of 4 interest rate hikes in 2016, Janet Yellen and the committee moved it down to 2 interest rate hikes. Steve, what's the underlying story here?
The underlying story is, I think, when the Federal Reserve back in December of 2015 made the statement that they were looking for 4 interest rate hikes in 2016, I think that was a very aggressive tone. And I think they're realizing that there is really no economic growth and that they have to pull back. And I think that just to save face, they pretty much stated that now they're just going to look to maybe possibly do 2 increases in 2016. Well,
they wanted unemployment at 6.5% or lower before they raised interest rates. Why didn't they do it a year and a half, 2 years ago?
Yeah, many years back, when the unemployment numbers were above 8.5%, the Federal Reserve maintained that if unemployment hit the 6.5% target rate, that they would start gradually raising interest rates. Well, when the 6.5 target came, they never really acted and started raising interest rates, and then finally they acted when unemployment finally hit 5%. So normally you start raising interest rates early in the cycle, not later in the cycle, and I think they really missed the boat on that, because right now Fed funds should probably be at about 0.75 to 1% by looking at the level of unemployment from where it came from, according to what they stated many years ago.
Well, the fact of the matter is global growth is at 0, essentially. Our GDP percent target is 1%. How could they possibly raise rates at this point?
I think that basically when they raised rates, and I was in the camp that they shouldn't have raised rates back in 2015, I think that basically when they made the comment of raise rates in 2015, it was just to give an optimistic view that they were confident of the economy growing in 2015 and towards the end in 2016. I didn't see it then. I still don't see it now. GDP, as you stated, is very low. I could see if we had a GDP number at 3.5%, maybe 4%, but at a revision at 1%, and you see the IMF took down worldwide GDPs. It really, I don't know what their thinking is. I don't see it, really.
Right.
I don't see where they're looking at to raise interest rates here.
So the initial reaction was that the S&P 500 shot up, the Dow shot up, gold and silver and the other commodities shot up, as well as the dollar plunged. It's false manipulation, though. It's a raise in asset prices, but we're not seeing actual growth in GDP, like you said.
Well, the markets are heavily relied on central bank intervention now. It's not, from, strong corporate earnings. It's not from a strong U.S. economy. And so really, I think that this is going to end pretty bad because, you started out with 0% interest rates. Then you went into quantitative easing. Then you went into negative rates. They're trying everything they can to boost asset prices, but it's really not kickstarting the economy. If you look at the last jobs report that came out, 242,000 new jobs, those weren't high-paying new jobs. They were pretty much minimum wage-paying jobs. And so you're not really seeing a kickstart from all the central bank intervention programs that they've created.
Well, Africa 54, Jill Malandrino reporting from New York. We want to know what you think about Africa 54 and the stories we cover during the conversation on Facebook. The address is Africa 54. And check out our headlines 24/7 on voaafrica.com. Find me on Twitter at VOA Vince Makori. Coming up, La Musique brings us music from Haiti. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's time for our Music Makers segment, and today we are featuring the Haitian group La Musique. Here to tell us about the group is the host of VOA's Music Time in Africa radio program, Heather Maxwell. Hello, Heather.
Hi, Vincent.
Good to see you.
You too.
Tell us a little bit. This group is not so old, right?
No, they are just putting out their debut album, coming out April 1st, and they're coming to Washington, D.C. on tour and a few other countries here in the U.S. They're a 9-piece group, intergenerational and genre, so they represent all kinds of different music styles in Haiti. But the group was formed in the wake of that horrible earthquake in 2010. And they wanted to start building a band and making music that would still give hope to Haitians and to show the world that, hey, we're still here. And the title of the album means that. It says, hey, tell everybody we're still here.
Well, let's do that. Let's tell everybody La Musique is still here. Let's play it.
Maman voye m'pese café, oh. En arrivant moins sous portail, aïe aïe, yon gendarme arrêté moi. Maman voye m'pese café, oh. En arrivant moins sous portail, yon gendarme arrêté moi. Mes amis, ça m'a dit la caille, elle m'arrivée. Oh, eh, ouais. Ça m'a dit la caille, elle m'arrivée. Mes amis, ça m'a dit la caille, elle m'arrivée. Mes amis, ça m'a dit la caille, elle m'arrivée. Papa m'a pose ou c'est celle de moi qui va faire papa me connaît qui j'en ça t'est passé. Chaud jamouté comme qu'est-ce y'a besoin. Moi pas longtemps pour café papa me gaspiller dans grand chimé. Mes amis, wow. Ça m'a dit la caille, les m'arriver. Mes amis, wow, lolo. Ça m'a dit la caille, les m'arriver. Maman malcale, moi. Ça m'a dit la caille, les m'arriver. Mes amis, wow, lolo. Ça m'a dit la caille, les m'arriver. Maman malcale, moi. Papa malcale, tendez. Yon baiser café qui baille qui est cassé. Grand monde me voye m'ba ouais raison pour pas aller. A fou mon ba portail la jouette la compliqué.
Neat piece there.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, and I like the mix of instruments there.
Yeah, there's the banjo, there's the shell, there's the bass guitar, and this rapper. The rapper is actually the leader of the group. The singer in the beginning of the song is his father, who is a legend, a music legend in Haiti.
Yeah,
and that
voice.
song is a really very well-known traditional classic song, Hezé Café, which means the son went out to fetch coffee and the police arrested him unjustly.
And a lot of African influence there, you can tell. But just tell us about, very quickly,
Yes.
they will be coming here, so we're likely to see them?
All 9. Can we fit them in the studio?
We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, they're
It would be
coming.
nice to have them in studio.
They're coming live.
Yeah.
Right here.
Thanks a lot.
Sure.
Great segment there. So once again, I want to thank Heather for another great music segment. And to learn more about Heather Maxwell and her VOA radio show, visit Facebook and type in the keywords Music Time in Africa, and you can see what time our program can be heard in your area and get more information about some of our featured artists. Well, Dubai has announced that it will host the first World Future Sports Games next year. But last weekend, drones took flight at the Gulf State's first World Drone Prix. VOA's Caroline Turner has more.
The United Arab Emirates is known for hosting one Grand Prix, but now it's home to a different kind of race, the Drone Prix. Teams from around the world competed in the competition, which kicked off last weekend in Dubai.
Dubai is the city of the future. We expect futuristic sports like drone racing and all other futuristic activities and events to come out of Dubai. We hope such events will help people focus on innovation.
For 2 days, drones zipped through the neon-lit roller coaster-style tracks, racing to the finish line and competing for the title of the fastest and most innovative. For the audience, it was a chance to see drone flying skills in action.
I think the event they put on is really fantastic. It's a really big event. I haven't seen any drone events in the world like this. I've been to a few in Europe, one in the States, but this is definitely the biggest I've seen so far. And what I heard is that the prize money is around $1 million US, so pretty impressive.
Drone racing is really quite unique and special. We are used to watching car races, Formula One races, but drone races, this is rare. It is interesting and entertaining to come and watch such an event.
The drone pilots competed for cash prizes amounting to $1 million US. It was 15-year-old Briton Luke Bannister who claimed the top spot in winning $250,000 for Team Tornado X-Blades Banny UK. As the drone race came to a close, Dubai announced it will host the first World Future Sports Games in 2017, featuring innovation and futuristic technologies-based sports competition. It will include the latest technological innovations, including artificial intelligence, driverless car races, robotic football, as well as drone racing. Carolyn Turner, VOA News.
Well, it's time now for a short break. Still to come on Africa 54. Did you know that Kenyan athlete Caleb Ndiko has a rap video? We'll be right back.
If you've just joined us, I'm Mariama Diallo, and here is a quick recap of today's headlines. Chinese officials and their Gambian counterparts announce a renewal of diplomatic ties after Gambia agrees to formally end diplomatic ties with Taiwan. Young Kenyan professionals abandon white-collar jobs for now lucrative farming industry. In Cameroon, Italian President Sergio Mattarella arrives in Yaoundé for a 4-day state visit and is greeted by his Cameroonian counterpart, Paul Biya. Finally, in South Africa, 12-year-old ballet prodigy Fakir Besman lands a ballet scholarship in New York City. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Welcome back to Africa 54. Here's what's trending. Who knew a movie trailer could be so controversial? Now, the answer? Lots of people. When the all-female Ghostbusters remake was announced, there was plenty pushback. Movie fans complained that the remake and sequel trend needs to stop. Generation X said hands off a movie that was a beloved classic. And many others wondered who asked for a reboot of the franchise. Now, there's another controversy. The trailer for the new Ghostbusters has gotten terrible reviews, with viewers complaining about everything from unfunny jokes to the low-tech special effect. And more potential bad news for Sony. The trailer has racked up over 460,000 thumbs down on YouTube. Stay tuned. How about this for a fashion trend? Yes or no? Fashion students at the Ibeo American University of Mexico have designed dresses inspired by the drug trafficking that has affected millions of people in that country in one form or another. Now, the students working in pairs used personal experiences and also what they perceived from the media to create their own designs. According to the teachers in charge of the activity, the idea was to teach them how to represent their feelings about the Mexican reality with real-life fashion elements. There were 110 dresses made for the Macro Fashion Exposé. Well, and finally, British comedian Eddie Izzard completed his 21st marathon out of a series of 27 over the same amount of days as part of a grueling charity challenge paying tribute to Nelson Mandela. On Tuesday, Izzard ran near Drakenstein prison, where Mandela spent his final years in prison. The comedian will complete his final marathon for the charity Sport Relief on Sunday on the steps of the Union Buildings in Pretoria, and that is what is trending today. Well, it's time now for our sports report, and here's Sunny Young with the sunny side of sports. Hello, Sunny.
Hello, Vincent, and sporty greetings once again to our Africa 54 viewers. The IAAF World Indoor Championships in Athletics take place this weekend in the northwestern U.S. city of Portland, Oregon. Kenyan athlete Caleb Ndiku is defending his World Indoor 3,000 meters title with the support of his own rap music video. Let's take a look.
I'm Caleb Ndiku. I want to approve this message. Machakos Chalo is the best artist here in Machakos, and not even here in Machakos, the whole Kenya. Yeah.
Tons at 1,500 meters while still a teenager, and I think maybe they underestimated his speed there through those final 150 or so that's a comfortable winning mark. But Ndiku kicks again, and the youngster's got the legs on this occasion. He's outraced them all, has Ndiku.
They ask me why I'm running, and I tell them Caleb Ndiku. Run, Caleb Ndiku. Run, Caleb Ndiku. They ask me why I'm running, and I tell them Caleb Ndiku. Run, Caleb Ndiku. Run, Caleb Ndiku. They ask me why I'm running, and I tell them Caleb Ndiku. Run, Caleb Ndiku. Run, Caleb Ndiku. They ask me why I'm running, and I tell
sweat, tears, and hard work for whatever you want to get. So I'm running for the gold. The only person that can stop me is truly just God. Why he helped me get this far. No one thought I'd be a track star. Now people see me in sports cars. Trust that you are what you are. They ask me why I'm running and I tell them Caleb Deku. Run, Caleb Deku. Run, run, Caleb Deku. They ask me why I'm running and I tell them Caleb Deku. Run, Caleb Deku. Run, run, Caleb Deku. They ask me why I'm running and I tell them Caleb Deku. Run, Caleb Deku. Run, run, Caleb Deku. They ask me why I'm running and I tell them Caleb Deku. Run, Caleb Deku. Run, run, Caleb Deku. I'm coming from a PL and Poppyland raised me. Machacos, you gave me heart and soul. Machacos, you made me. Machacos, you raised me. No shoes on, just my feet on the dirt. Now I got Nikes chilling in between. Godspeed, Buffalo strong, never aim low. You repping 254, 254, betting on you. 254, praying for you. Kenya saying Caleb knew it too. Caleb got her back, so Kenya will never stop. They ask me why I'm running and I tell them Caleb Deku. Run, Caleb Deku. Run, run, Caleb Deku. They ask me why I'm running and I tell them Caleb Deku. Run, Caleb Deku. Run, run, Caleb Deku. They ask me why I'm running and I tell them Caleb Deku. Run, Caleb Deku. Run, run, Caleb Deku. They ask me why I'm running and I tell them Caleb Deku.
Forever wet.
Run, Caleb and Deku, run. I'm Sonny Young, and that's the sunny side of sports. Vincent?
Well, thanks a lot, Sonny. Now, be sure to check out the sunny side of sports every Monday and Friday right here on Africa 54. And that's our show for today. Be sure to watch Africa 54 on our website at voaafrica.com. For more news, tune in to VOA's evening radio show, Africa News Tonight at 1800 UTC, and in the mornings to Daybreak Africa between 0300 and 0600 UTC. That's Monday through Friday. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a good night.
Welcome to English in a Minute. If two people are on the same page in a book, they are reading the same thing. But is that what this idiom really means?
On the same page.
That restaurant was great, but I hate coming home smelling like cigarette smoke.
I hear you. I wish the city would finally ban smoking indoors.
We're definitely on the same page there.
If you are on the same page as someone, it means you are thinking in a similar way. It means you have a similar opinion about someone or something, or have the same understanding about a topic. You don't actually have to be reading the same book as someone to have the same idea. This idiom can be used in all situations. And that's English in a Minute.